Good evening, members. It's 7 o'clock. So if I can begin this meeting and welcome everyone who's watching online. Have we got any apologies?
Yeah, we've got apologies from Councillor Chung and Councillor Wildman.
Are we happy to accept those apologies? All right, Neil. Oh, right. Item 3 is voting in of council officers for the forthcoming municipal year. So can I have nominations for chairman of the council?
I propose yourself, Councillor Mary Thomas, as chair.
Okay, any other nominations? Any other nominations? Right, can I see a vote? All those in favour? Thank you. That's carried. Thank you. Now we go on to Vice Chair of Council. Again, can I have the nominations for Vice Chair of Council?
I propose Councillor David Clamp.
Thank you.
And I second that.
Right, thank you. Is there any other nominations? No? Are you happy to become Vice Chair? Thank you. Can I have a show of hands for Vice Chair? Thank you. The next one is Council Committees, Advisory Committees and Working Groups. To consider the proposed standing committees, advisory committees and working groups, and elect chairman, vice chairman and members of each committee. So the first one in the list is Allotments Committee. Can I have nominations for the chair of the Allotments Committee? Alice. Are you nominating Alice? Thank you. Have I got a seconder for that? Yeah, Howard, thank you. Is there any other nominations for chair of the Allotments Committee? No? Can we have a show of hands? Or do we need to have a show of hands if there's only, do you think? Right. It does say that we have to elect the vice chair as well, because I thought that when at the first committee meeting, but it says in the standing orders, and I've looked, and it says we have to have a vice chair. So can I have a proposal?
Can I propose Pat for vice chair?
Yeah, and I'll second that. Pat, are you happy to serve as vice chair of the Allotments Committee? Thank you. Can we vote then? Thank you. Thank you. We need some members, and I'm just trying to think who were the members previously. Do we know? Pardon? Mark. Yes, Mark. Yeah. Mark Chung, happy to be a member. Are we all happy with that? Yeah. So that's 3. I'm trying to think who else was that. Brian. Oh yeah.
I'm just going to get my other paper.
Okay. Kevin. So we've got Alice, Pat, Brian, Kevin. I think you're only allowed 5. That's what it says in the standing order.
Is there a way of making it more at this meeting or at another meeting? Because sometimes it's difficult if 1 or 2 members can't come.
Perhaps we should standardise on 8. There's quite a few other committees have 8.
Yes, 8 and 7.
Yeah.
I would say that was a better solution.
Are we allowed to change it this meeting if we want to have more members?
Yes, when we get to the terms of reference.
Yeah, if you have to change it, you'll have to change it for the constitution.
Terms of reference.
The terms of reference. Oh, yeah. Well, at the moment, we've got Alice, Pat, Brian, Mark, yeah, and we want to try and have Kevin on the committee. But that's 6, so we'll have to change it when we get to the 5. Is that 5?
It's 5.
Right.
Suggest, Chairman, that you have that committee as you've suggested, the 5, and when we get to the item for the terms of reference, we change it to 6 so that there's
Enough
some
to
spare
go around,
capacity.
yeah, right. We've got Finance, Employment and Services Committee. Can I have nominations for chair of that meeting?
Nominate Councillor David Clegg. Excuse me.
I have a seconder for that. Glenda, thank you. All those in favour? Any other nominations for chair? No? Can we? Right. Can we have nominations for vice chair?
I'll move that Councillor David Coburn Price is vice chair this year as last. Sorry, I'm losing me.
Are you happy to serve as vice chair? Right, okay. Can we have a seconder for that? Right, all those in favour? Thank you. And then we've got 5 more people to go on that. I'll nominate Brian Wildman as a member. Can I have a seconder for Brian? Howard Thomas? You can. And I'll second those. And okay, oh, we're happy with yeah. No, but
I did actually think that Jonathan didn't want to be on the committee. No, I don't think he does.
well, Emma, yeah. Oh, happy that Emma seconded for Emma to be a member. Yeah, yeah. Of the FES. Yeah, yeah. So we've an extra. You know, if Jonathan doesn't want to be on, no.
Can I suggest, Chairman, that if they're not sure about Jonathan, they leave it in abeyance. It may or may not be Jonathan. If it isn't Jonathan, that their group nominates the other person. Can I suggest that?
Yeah. Right. Item, the next one is Events Committee. Can I nominate Councillor Lord as chair for the Events Committee, please? And can I have a seconder for that? David Clamp. And it has been Neil in the past, and we're happy for Neil to continue if he'd like to do.
We haven't discussed it, but perhaps.
I'll nominate Neil
Right.
as vice chair. He did indicate that he wanted to.
Right. Can we have a seconder for Neil, please? Yeah, Howard seconds for Neil. Right, thank you. So that's 2. We need another 6, because there's 8 members on the Events Committee. Can I nominate myself? Can somebody second? Yeah, right. So we need another 5. Yeah?
I'll nominate Howard.
Thank you. Can somebody second Howard? All right.
I'd love to go on it, but it always clashes with.
It's on a Monday.
Children plan, children show. So I'm putting in this on Mondays. It was a curious one that I could come last time. So.
Chair, sorry, Sarah. Is there any chance that we can change the day of this?
Well, you can for me, but you need to look at the calendar, I think, to see what days are free.
Is it something we could discuss at a later date, maybe? And because it's difficult for one or two people on a Monday
Yeah.
that would like to be on,
Yeah.
but can't come.
Yeah, well, we've got Alice and Sarah that would like to come, but can't, so would you like to be sort of first reserve if we can get it on another day? Yes, Howard?
Sorry, I was going to say that we've formally minute that we're going to look at, possibly a different, provided it fits in with other things, and nominate Alice.
Yeah, Alice Mann. I'll second that. Are we all happy for Alice? Yeah. How many is that? How many do we still need?
Have we got a seconder for Sarah?
Yes?
I don't need, it's not on.
Well, if you can change the day.
Yeah. Well, I'll nominate Sarah if we can change the date.
We could probably fit it on the second Tuesday every 2 months.
Yeah.
It fits in calendar.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Can somebody second Sarah?
I don't think there's any point in trying to do it now. We need to sit down and check
Yeah.
how it will fit in, because FES is on something like the second Tuesday, or yeah. So we just need to look at calendars properly, and then
Dorothy, Neil, yourself, Howard, Alice, Sarah.
How many is that?
6, so
Another 2.
2.
Any more offers? We need another 2. Yeah. We'll put Emma down there.
Yeah.
And Kevin. There we go. There's a song about that, isn't there?
Do we have a proposer and a seconder? Sorry for Emma and Kevin.
I'll propose both of them. Yeah. And Sarah's seconding
Sarah,
them.
yeah.
Right. Cole Neighbourhood Plan Advisory Committee. There's 6 people on this, and
I think that's another one that could easily be extended. The point of it is that it's meant to communicate and be, we've got co-optees, but it's meant to be open to people. It's a grassroots thing. It's meant to be the community. So constricting it unnecessarily, I think it's unhelpful. Really, I think it should be everybody that wants to be on it.
but we need a chair, which we're looking at you, Sarah. Yeah. Can somebody second Sarah? Yeah. Kevin or Emma? Yeah. All right. We're okay with that. Does it have a vice chair, this committee?
Yes.
Yeah. Who was that? Oh, I know.
Lester.
Yeah.
He probably still wants.
Yeah, he does still want to be that. So is that all right? Brian is the vice chair. Yeah. Now members have been Alice and Howard. Do you still want to be on it? Yes. And then we need at least 2 more.
The other one so was Johnny, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether he's going to do it.
Jonathan's been since the very beginning.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think he did say that he still wants.
Right. Well, we'll have Johnny then. Yeah. And Liz says she'd like to be on it.
Well, I'm not sure I'm allowed because it was politicised, wasn't it? That it had to be 3 Tories and 3 Lib Dems,
Yeah.
and I'm not a party because I'm only one. So I would like to go, but it would appear I'm not allowed to go unless somebody changes their mind on that score.
Well, I think if we can look at it in the next agenda item to look at the terms of reference.
See what it says, yeah. Okie dokie. Blues Festival Advisory Committee. It says there's 8 members on there. I've never seen 8 members. I've never seen eight members there, but that's what it says. So I was the chair up till now.
Suppose that continues.
All right, I shall do it for this next year. Have we got a vice chair? Oh, well, do you want to, would you be happy to do that?
But I think this is only if it's not on a Monday, because Alice can't do it.
Oh, no, Alice can't. Right. Well, we have, you seem to be able to manage if it's early Monday evening, but it's later when you struggle. We're on Blues Advisory Committee.
So we've got a proposal for seconder for Alice for vice chair.
We've got a proposer for Alice for vice chair.
Oh, Brian was on as well.
Right. I'll second that as well. Brian said he rang me and said he'd like to still be on with Blues.
He told me you wanted to be in the same months. That's what
Yeah. Oh, you've got me. I've been what? Why didn't I have a copy of this? Oh yes, it would be, wouldn't it? So how many is that, Neil?
Neil.
Kevin's on the Blues, aren't you? You came the other last. You came yesterday, didn't you? Like that? All right.
So we've got,
Right.
we've got 4 at the minute.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Alice,
7, 8.
Brian and Neil. What, Dorothy?
Dorothy, do you want to be on the Blues? I don't think you were. The Blues Committee.
Blues?
No. Alice? No, she don't want to be on. Sarah, did you say you wanted to be on?
If I'm doing events, then I really wouldn't have the time of it.
Right. Well, we don't know how long this committee is going to be active for, do we really? I don't know. If everybody gets... So we've got Councillor Butterworth, Councillor Mann, me and Howard, and Councillor Wildman. That's 5, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got.
Anybody else? No? Okay. We can get co-optees because we've got a couple.
Yeah. Two pop teas, aren't we?
Yes. Because we've got two people who got to hear what's going on. So we've got. So shall we come back to that, or?
We've got 5 of them.
Yeah, and there'll be Anissa and Nina. Okay. Oh, thank goodness, the last one now. Alkin Courts Park Working Group. Can I propose the chair as David Clamp, please? Are you happy to do that, David? And do we not? We don't need to do it. And can I propose Vice Chair David Clegg, please? David Clamp, second that. And I've got that Alice and Pat would like to be on that committee. Is that right? That's 5. And I'll come when nobody else can come, because I've been coming to it, but I'm not, you know, if anybody else wants to go instead of me, that's fine, I'll come off it. All right. Oh. Declaration of interest. Anything on the agenda that anybody has to declare today? No? The next item is the minutes of the meeting for the last meeting. Does anybody have any comments or amendments for that meeting? I know. Are you happy with the minutes?
Yeah.
Can I have a proposer that these minutes are a correct record? Sarah, can I have a seconder?
I'll second them.
Thank you. Right. The next item is public forum, and we don't have any public here, do we? Okay. Sorry. But it's just me. I'm like a nodding dog. I can't keep my head still. Right. The next item is the finances. Is there any questions or queries on Schedule 8A, the schedule of payments?
I'm happy with them both. We had a bit of a go through at FES with various things, so yeah, I'm happy to propose we accept them or note them or.
Yeah. Can I have a seconder, Davies? Right, thank you, Councillor Clegg. We move on to the item 8B, financial budget summary. Has anyone got any comments, amendments, queries?
I think they've just been, I think he said both.
Did you say both of them that you were happy with? Right, can we put you down as a proposer that these are correct? Yeah. Seconder, please. Thank you. All those in favour of accepting the budget? Thank you. The next item is Combe Council terms of reference. Now, do we have to, can we just take them as a block, or have we to propose and second them on each one?
Well, I think there might be some amendments
Right.
that are going to be suggested, so I suggest we take each one in
The first one is
turn.
allotments committee. We decided, it says, the allotments committee will be comprised of 5 elected members of the council. Do we want to make that bigger, if possible? 7, 6?
Yeah,
Can you put your microphone on, please?
we do have a problem with people not being able to turn out. So the more that we have, would that be better, or would that jeopardise the quorum? I'm not sure. But if we could have 6 minimum, that would be great.
Okay. Well, Howard wants to speak, and then
Well,
David.
I was going to suggest that we say that it has a maximum of 7 members, and that should cover all eventualities. If we can get 7, hip hip hooray. If we can only get 3, well, we're still within the terms of reference. Well,
They've always had more than 3, haven't you?
No, we've
Yeah. David, did you want to speak? You got 5.
The only thing you've got to watch when you start increasing sizes of committees, Chairman, is you increase the quorum as well, and you could end up on a bad night that not enough turn up to make your quorum. So you've got to watch you don't get it too high. You're probably all right going up to 9, because if you go to 9, the quorum would be 3, so it hasn't changed. But if you went to 10, then you'd be pushing it up to 12, so you've got to be careful with the numbers.
Well, that's 7 or 8.
move that we have, that it's a maximum of 7. So,
Is everybody happy with that?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Because we struggled to get 3, never mind 7. So are we all happy with that? Yeah. You'll need a proposal to change it, won't you? And second it. Have you got that?
Yeah, we've got that.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Events committee, are we all right with that? I think we are. There's 8 on there. Yes, David.
Chairman, I don't know whether this is the right place to make this suggestion or not, or you could leave it till a future meeting, but it'd have to come back to full council anyway. But I'm under the impression, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the events committee meets every month. There's some months it doesn't meet. Equally, there is another committee that's on a Tuesday, which is allotments, which doesn't meet every month either. You could probably let events and allotments share one of the Tuesdays in the month, like FES is the first Tuesday, full council is the third. You could probably let them 2 committees share the second Tuesday, providing they didn't have it on the same month.
Well, events definitely doesn't meet every month, does it?
1 point for you, David. And in part 3, it actually says the committee will meet quarterly for events. So, you know, whether it's
Yeah, well,
monthly,
yeah.
quarterly, whatever.
Yeah.
Which should help a lot of people who can't do Mondays.
Right, well, when we, yeah. Well, are we happy that we look at moving events to Tuesdays then? It only meets once every 3 months, doesn't it? So, so we've got a proposal and a seconder for that. David, well, I'll second that. Right, I think we're all. Are we all right with the terms of reference for the events committee? Has everybody read them? Yeah? So to agree the terms? Yeah. I'll propose that. Can somebody second that we agree the actual terms of reference for the events committee? Yeah? Have we done it for the elections committee? We've got one, haven't we?
Yeah, because there was an amendment, wasn't there?
Yeah. Finance, Employment and Services Committee. Are we happy with that? Way it's
we accept
working?
them.
Yeah, all right. Oh, we don't need to change that, keep them as they are. Do we need to, is that all right, or do we need to propose them? Neighbourhood Plan Advisory Committee. How many is there on there? Wait a minute. Neighbourhood Plan. 6 councillors, it says. Does it say anything?
Is this the one we're thinking of doing either up to 7 or 8 elected members?
Yeah, it says,
Councillors resigned.
it says 3 councillors being nominated from each party represented at
Don't mention
Town
the parties.
Council.
None of them.
Now, if Liz wants to go on, you'd have to change them, wouldn't you?
I really do feel it shouldn't be politicised. It's not a politicised thing. It's for the whole of Cone.
Do we want to keep
We
it at
we
7?
couldn't hear what you said because your
Nodded.
dog nodded again.
It says, a maximum of 6 councillors who may request to be appointed to the committee, and 3 councillors being nominated from each party represented at Town Council. But Liz isn't a member of a party, she's an independent. So with that 1A, it would disqualify her. And she says she wants to be on this committee. And
Can I suggest we just, if you look at the next page with the blues one, the para 1A just says what we should probably want to do with the neighbourhood plan one as well. it's all elected members. It reports into full council, or it reports into FES or wherever. So I think we may as well just keep life simple. That way it's open to Liz and open to up to 8 people.
Uncle Todd Cobbler and all. What do people think about that David's proposed?
What does the Blues thing say again?
The Blues thing says, all serving members of the council may request to be appointed to the committee and will be composed of a maximum of 8 voting members of the council.
Because it's an advisory committee and it doesn't technically make any finalised decisions. To be honest, to put it very bluntly, I don't think it matters who's on it.
So are we happy to?
Yeah, if sorry, we've got too many Davids on this council. If David Coburn Price was moving that we change the word into the same as the Blues, I'll second that.
Okay, right.
And that,
Yeah. Right, so we'll put Liz on the, because any voting member can come and attend, and yeah, okay. That's the Blues Festival Advisory Committee. Well, that just says anybody can come, doesn't it? Yeah?
we only adopted that.
Yeah, just move it as it is, yeah. Right, we've got a working group, the Alkin Courts Park Working Group.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah. Move with.
Right, okay. Phew. Do we all understand what's happened?
Can I just ask one thing? I'm just having had a look through these again. Obviously, all of them, I think when they were all first written, they all have a load of stuff about, aims and objectives and things like that. But one of the things I'm conscious of, sometimes we don't get as much sort of feedback to the general group as we should for what the activities are. Some of them are quite prescriptive in what they say they're doing. And while things like we get some Blues information coming through, or the neighbourhood plan, or we get bits of stuff about what's happening at Alkin Coates, whatever. So, let's have some more sort of formal reporting from these committees to say what's going on, what's your plan for the year, etc. Having gone through the budgeting process at FES, we know there are some decent pots of money and plans rolled over. Obviously lots to do on allotments and Alkin Coates. So, let's just make sure they're all embedded, make sure they're reported back, so we've got some good visibility of what's going on.
But the Alkin Courts Park Working Group is a, can we make it up to 6 councillors?
Chair,
There's a figure.
Because I've enjoyed being on the Alkin Courts Working Group. I'm not on it now.
what does it say now?
There's 5. We altered it from 4 last month to 5. But that altered it to 6 if you were out with another nomination.
It says all members.
You've got to remember, I would think this is possibly the only committee that's held a non-quorate meeting in the last 3 years, so another one wouldn't hurt.
No. And because we hold them in the afternoon, don't we? At 2 o'clock in an afternoon.
We hold it in the afternoon, basically because we have to report to FAS at night, and so therefore that's why David's on the committee, so he's the link between us and FAS.
Yes, sir.
Can I propose that we do have an extra person on that committee?
Well,
And
Well, Dot wants to go on as well.
Yeah.
I'll come off and then you two.
No. No, let Dot go on. I'm busy.
Yeah.
Let Dot go on. I'll just come and I won't vote. I'll just go, because it says all members are to poison chalices then. So have we got that? So we've got Dot. Take me out.
A second for the adding.
Can someone, David, can you propose that we add an extra councillor on then?
Yeah.
And I'll second that. It's like plaiting fog.
Yeah, so
Does that make it up to
that's
6
in
now?
terms of reference, aren't it, to 6? And
6.
then you can put the other person on.
Can I suggest as a way of these being reported, that the minutes be sent round to all councillors, and then people will then know once they've been approved. Say FES minutes are approved on the Tuesday night. Once they're approved, they're then sent out to all members so they know what's going on.
Yeah, that's what I generally do with all the minutes anyway. So.
Yes, David.
One thing we need to be careful of with the Elkin Courts working group, and it is a working group, not an advisory one, it deals with scrutinising some of the contracts which are to do with the park, and if it has been discussed in the meeting at any point, discussing whether the contract's been done badly or being done well, that cannot be minuted and go in the public minutes on the website. We'll have to be careful there. And that's another reason why that committee doesn't want to be too big, because it is scrutinising the grounds maintenance contract, and that cannot be minuted, because if it gets on website, the contractor, if he doesn't like it, he could take us to court, Chairman.
Okay, well, we'll keep that in mind. That it'll have to have all sort of contractual information removed before they're sent out. Right, item 10 is standing orders and financial regulations. Isn't it exciting, this meeting?
They've just been through the process of being updated, and they either came to the last meeting or the meeting before of FES. So can I move that we accept the updated versions?
Can we accept them? Do we need a proposer?
How would you propose?
I'll second it.
Thank you. All those in favour? Item 11 is Colne Market Forum meeting. To receive a report from Gina providing details from the Market Forum meeting held on Thursday the 21st of April.
Right, 12. Right, yeah, so we did have the Market Forum was held at the Town Hall. So I sent out the agenda and the terms of reference. The terms of reference were agreed at the meeting. Councillor Ash Sutcliffe was nominated as the chair of the forum. So basically, after that, the proposals were sent round so everyone could see the plans that I sent through, the papers I sent through via email. So this was discussed. Lady, was she from Pearl or Barnfield? I can't remember, but.
So the lady that was in the meeting was from Pendle Council. That's Julie Whitaker. I've got an update on your update when you finished, if you like.
The members, a lot of the market traders were approved as members of the forum, so they will get voting rights. And I think everyone who wanted to be on it was put down to be members of the forum. The main issue I think that was discussed was the market traders were worried what would happen in any transition kind of stage. So when the improvements were being made, when building works were going on, what would happen to them in that case. It was expressed that they would be looked after in this case, and the whole point of the meeting was to get their views and find out what their needs actually are, what they would require. So I think there were certain things that come out in the meeting that maybe hadn't been thought about. So it did come out that obviously there was quite a bit more to think about than what was initially thought. So that was a good thing that came out of the meeting. The other thing was the market traders were unhappy that they hadn't been consulted before they got to the plans being drawn up and that kind of thing. But it was expressed that nothing at all has been set yet. It's still just a plan, and the main meeting was to obviously get people's feedback from that. Yeah.
So since then, questionnaires have gone out to all the market traders, and they filled them in about their sort of storage and requirements and so on. And in addition, we've thought about other things that we could do, like could we build half of it, leave the market as it is, and then move them over to the new bit? And so actually the architects are working on different plans now. You know, the whole thing is it's fluid. You know, it wasn't the presentation of a final thing at all. It was a discussion. So I met with Barnfield and Julie Whittaker yesterday, and we're looking to schedule another meeting as soon as possible because we now have a lot more information, and we should have the next iteration and different thoughts and options to present at that.
Yes, Dorothy.
When you say you met with the architects yesterday, was that, what did you say just then?
I met with Julie Whittaker yesterday.
Okay. Was that just you?
Yes.
Right. The terms, these coal market fund terms of reference, are these were these drawn up before we had the meeting the other week? Because I know that at the meeting, I think, I don't know if Ash or somebody said that all the market traders could be on the forum, and that various other people that put the hand up, like me and I don't know who else put the hand up, but you know, it was at the beginning, it was going to be, you know, it was very prescribed, and now it seems to have opened up to more people. I don't know whether that's right or not.
I don't think so. I think it was always focused on the market traders. No disrespect to you, Mary, but that's where the focus lies. And so that was presented at the meeting. The terms of reference were drawn up by Philip Moosdale, and that was part of the reason for the delay, because obviously he's a very busy man surrounding everything to do with the local elections. So, yeah, the terms of reference were drawn up before the meeting.
But surely Colne Town Council should have some input into. Right.
Chair, I've looked at the minutes of the meeting, which are on Pendle Council's website, and apparently what is here in black and white was that all existing traders be invited to become a member of the Market Forum, and that both Colne Town Council and Colne Bid be invited to nominate one representative each to become a member of the Colne Market Forum, and that 3, the market manager be appointed as a member of the forum. that was what that meeting resolved. I assume these were accepted at the Colne area meeting, whenever that was last week. So presumably we are soon to get a notification from Pendle to say, can we have a nomination, please? If we get that, I would move yourself, Chair.
Right, well, we'll have to wait till we get that. These are the ones that Lynn she was sat there, wasn't she? Yeah.
It's on the Pendle Council website. It says minutes of a meeting of the Colne Market Forum held at Colne Town Hall, 21st of April, 2022. And then there's a long list of everybody that went there, and that's what it says.
For speed, obviously that's going to happen. Are we allowed to just do that now? Rather than bring it to another meeting? It makes sense to me.
Chair, what I actually moved was that once we get that invitation, that our nomination be yourself. That's what I moved.
Sarah's saying we can do it now. Is that what you said, Sarah?
Well,
Is everybody happy that I'll be the representative of Colne Town Council? Yeah. Okay. Right.
No.
Have we met people in the market yet, informally? I know you were... Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. It's hard looking forward and then speaking to, different people. But
I just wanted to hear what you were just saying there.
I was saying that I understand that Sarah had been into the market and for the afternoon and had been helping on the wool stall, I think. But I am a bit concerned that I understand that 5 people have given the notice in 5 stallholders.
In a week?
In
a week, yeah, incredible. Just before we go off this, I didn't sort of want to say this with it being a public meeting, but I would like to be more involved as the other borough councillor on this forum. It seems that I'm completely left out. I didn't know you were having a meeting with Julie Whittaker. Maybe I was entitled to be there. So any future meetings, or at least I would like some correspondence from either you or Ash to let me know what's been said, what's going on, where we're at, and then I can keep up to scratch.
I was just following on from something I'd heard about Tim Webber's visit, looking at various options, and was seeking to clarify exactly what the current thinking was. So formal meeting is overstating it, more like Teams chat for a few minutes, just to clarify where we're up to and to urge that we organise another meeting.
Right, okay. Item 12 is IT security provision. Who's going to take this?
Yeah, this came about because the Colne Town Council had quite a lot of attempted hacks within a very short period of time, and they did just seem to be getting worse. We still get weekly attempts with certain. They're getting more sophisticated as they're coming through. The emails, they look to be from a proper email address. I've been getting emails that have come from HR saying new terms, please sign, kind of thing. But obviously, because we're so small, you know that that's not right. But obviously, in a bigger organisation, then they could be getting through. So we were advised by our IT consultant that if we went to a Microsoft Premium license, it has a built-in security thing that comes with that license, which would mean that it would be extremely difficult for anyone to hack into the system. So this is why we looked at it. The proposal went to FES, and it was agreed to recommend to full council that all councillors and office staff are upgraded to Microsoft Premium licenses.
Can you check that? Is somebody here? No. I use Google Chromebooks, and I understand that it can't work on Google, this latest one. So I don't know. I'm not buying a new machine, so I shall be using my old one. Unless the council wants to buy me a new laptop.
Are we now not doing this then? So the fact that we get hacked every single week, and this is an obvious way to protect it, to give us the protection, is what we should do.
It is.
And you're saying that the Microsoft license does not work on a Google Chromebook?
Not that one. The one that we're doing now is fine, but according to the people, it won't work on a Chromebook.
I haven't heard that. Basically, James from Holker will be joining us via Zoom shortly to answer any questions that you may have or issues about it. Yeah, he's going to join now. So I think we have questions on will it work on older versions of Windows and that kind of thing, what it would mean, sort of from a technical point of view, how easy or hard is it going to be? So I think.
Would it work on iPads, such things like that?
We just need to ask the question.
Why won't it work on mine? Oh, here we are. Yeah.
Can you hear us, James? Oh, I think you're muted.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Ah, fantastic. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi. Gina, I don't know if you'd like to introduce me at all, or if you've already done that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I have. I've just given a brief. Obviously, the report went out, and we've just talked briefly. I think there are a few questions that the councillors will have but if you want to give like an overall summary of the system and what it would mean, obviously for the councillors,
Sure.
if we got this.
No problem at all. I'll give you a little bit of background then. So my name's James McHugh. I'm one of the account managers at Holker IT. Firstly, one thing I want to get across is that I'm not a salesperson. I've managed the Colne Town Council account for the last 5 years. And recently there have been more and more cyber attacks aimed at Colne Town Council that we've been made aware of. So we've had our engineers pass that over to myself to have a conversation with Gina about and make you guys aware of your options with regards to that. Currently, you have something called a Microsoft Office 365 account. Every councillor on here and staff member has one. That seems to be where they're targeting the cyber attacks, and that seems to be the easiest place as well to get in. Not just for you guys, but right across the country, that's the number one way that they're attacking people. Now, multi-factor authentication initially was set up for Cold Town Council 2 years ago, and that was in its most base form. That was when Microsoft had first released it. That was everything that it was capable of at the time. Now, simply all that meant was at the end of each month, we'd push out a check to see what had happened within that month, to see if there'd been any attacks on that 365 account, or if there was anything obvious within that. So it's fairly limited what it could do at the time. Now, since then, Microsoft have come out with a different option, and that is something called conditional access with regards to multi-factor authentication. Now, to have this enabled, and I'll go into what that is in a moment, you do need a higher level of the Microsoft subscription. That comes as a feature within that. The conditional access simply recognizes your IP address, and that is the Wi-Fi that you may be connected to now. Or if Gina is connected on her PC in a day-to-day work, that would recognize that that is that work's IP address. So it's an address, it can recognize the location, it's synonymous with you guys. Now, one thing, because that identifies it, every time you're outside of that recognized IP address, you will then be asked to put in, basically, you'll have an application on your phone, and it will say, is this you, yes or no, when you try to log in. It's nothing too intrusive or invasive. It doesn't take a lot of time. Once it is set up, it genuinely takes 2 seconds. Is this you, yes or no? Now, if for whatever reason you had the instance where it's suddenly 2 a.m., your phone flashes up, you see it, and it says, is this you? Well, no, because I was trying to sleep. So straight away, you know that somebody's trying to get into your account. You'd be able to alert us to that, and we'd be able to look into it immediately. Now, one of the things that is great for you guys is, again, I know that a lot of you have it on your phone, your Office 365, you can check your emails through there. Once it's originally set up to your phone, it is linked to your device. So it will not ask you, is this you, on your device every time you check your emails. So again, not too intrusive, not too invasive, not too annoying. So you'll be able to check your emails as much as you want from your mobile phone, wherever and whenever you are. It is just if you've got a laptop or a PC or anything like that they're trying to access it through, or an unrecognized mobile device, that is when you are getting the, is this you, yes or no? Okay, so I hope I simplified that a little bit. That's what we're proposing for you guys. And again, just to bring up what I mentioned in the start, the reason for this is simply that you guys have already been targeted multiple times. That has alerted us, and we have defended it as best we can. However, there's only so long that we can do that before either any of your constituencies' data leaks or your own personal data leaks. Any emails get out, any finance details get out, and that's taken advantage of. So both in the public eye by consumers or public's detail getting out, or any financial implications that you may occur. So has anybody got any questions off the back of that?
Howard?
You say it flashes up and says, is this you?
Yes.
Is that to a specific device?
It is.
Because,
so, sorry, go on, Howard.
So if you get a new tablet, say that it doesn't recognise, it would come up on your phone or wherever your chosen device is.
Yes.
And presumably you don't just say, yes, it is, because you could have had your pocket picked and someone could have your phone.
Yeah, that is true. So if you was to buy a new device, for example, new mobile or anything like that you was trying to log into, it would have to come through ourselves. And what I mean by that is you'd engage Gina or you'd engage ourselves, and one of our engineers would remotely set that up for you. If you was accessing your work's email, not your personal email, not any personal applications or anything like that, it is just specific work email.
What operating systems does it work on? If you've got a Chromebook, will it work?
Yes.
Oh.
So what would happen is with that, the first time that is specifically set up with your localized applications, Excel, Word, Outlook, for example, Once that initial setup is being complete, we can remotely log in and help you and assist you to make sure that that is set up for yourself. That would be one-time application within that, and then it will be linked to your phone in terms of your easiest mobile device, your mobile. Is this you that's trying to log in through your Chromebook? Yes or no? Yes.
And would that be using Outlook as a web-based thing rather
Either
than...
web-based or localized. But once you've done the localized setup, an application of that, and within a recognized IP, for example, your home IP, if it's been set up that way, it would be able to recognize that. So, for example, if the same Chromebook you went and logged on at the coffee store and you connected to their Wi-Fi, it would ask you, is this you? But because it's been set up at your home, for example, and recognizes that IP for your Chromebook, it wouldn't ask you every time you logged in.
Right.
I've got a Google Chromebook, and it always sort of defaults to a Google, either Google Docs or Google whatever. Would I have a problem with that?
One of our engineers would be more than happy to fix that for you permanently and make it a default for your Microsoft application to open first. But no, it wouldn't be an issue to be able to work around that for you. But just so you're all aware, one thing that is on there, obviously, there is a monthly cost increase within that, and that's the Microsoft licenses. That's not something that we make a profit from because Microsoft set their own prices. However, there is a labour charge within this, and within that labour charge is a one-off setup fee, and that would be contacting each of you individually at a convenient time to help set up the devices that this needs to be on. So you wouldn't be on your own. It wouldn't be something that's on there for you guys to set up. We'd be able to work with you, and it's already part of the project itself. So it's no additional cost apart from what's already been quoted.
Anybody else got any questions for? No? Do you have any questions? No? Do we have a trial period with the office staff before we come on it, or what?
No. So recently, Microsoft have set their own licenses, and they've changed the way that they do the licenses. So you guys have already changed within this, but it means that it's a 12-month commitment per license. This isn't anything new. This isn't anything that you're switching to. All it means is you guys have currently got business standard, is what it's called, and that is in a 12-month commitment. But because you're staying with Microsoft, we can just upgrade that as part of that 12-month commitment.
Anybody got any other questions?
I appreciate you're all, sorry, I appreciate you're all together at the moment, and I know you're trying to think of questions, and I'm more than happy to answer them all. But if you do think of any other questions once you've thought about things, I'm more than happy for Gina to give out my email address or my work contact number, and I'd be happy to go through it with you individually if you've got any questions whatsoever, because I appreciate it is a lot of information to take in all at once.
Well, and some of us are more IT savvy than others.
Of course.
Yes, David, you've got a question.
Yeah, I have a question, and I don't know whether he can answer it just here and now or not.
No
some people don't just use one phone or have one laptop for that matter. And I have two laptops at home which I use regularly, and I don't always use the same one. It depends where I'm going or what I'm doing.
That's fair.
And I also use my tablet and my Android phone.
Okay.
If I wanted all four connecting to the system, so that whichever I had in my pocket or my bag at the time I could use, would that be a load of hassle, or can it be achieved?
As long as you are in a convenient position where you've got all of these devices with you at the time of having that conversation with our engineer to get everything set up, it's not a problem at all. We can cover it as part of the cost. And once he's on the phone to you or is remotely logged into your device, we'll do one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. So we'll make sure that all of your devices are set up and that you're happy with those, and then we'll move on to the next user as opposed to the next device.
Just one last question, Chairman.
Yep.
Some members may be in the same position as me, whereby they have a Microsoft account from other organisations apart from the town council.
Yes.
And if you have Microsoft business accounts from more than one source,
Yes.
would one conflict with the other and stop the other one working?
Potentially. That is the only question of the night that I can't give you a clear answer on. That is something, the reason why I'm hesitant with that is because there are other Microsoft products, for example, OneDrive. Some of you may have that personally or professionally. Now, I know that if you've got a professional OneDrive and a personal OneDrive, those two can conflict in some way. So I don't want to give you the wrong answer by saying, no, everything will be absolutely fine. Let me find out whether or not they conflict and what the workaround is, because I can guarantee there will be a workaround, but I just need to find out what that is before I give you false information.
Okay.
Anybody else got any?
Yes, if you've got multiple accounts, it's clearly a potential issue, but I think when you get to the login screen, it'll offer you both, or 3 or 4, however many accounts you've got, and you choose which one you're logging in as, so you could do that.
You'd expect so, but I don't want to, you'd expect that to be the case, but I don't want to say it is and it isn't.
Yeah, and I thought as well, a while back, weren't we thinking about having a council SharePoint?
Yes, that was quoted for. It was actually, it's more relevant now than ever, to be honest with you guys, because you can set up multi-factor authentication within SharePoint. So what that means in its most base form is, instead of you guys having a server or anything like that, you'd have SharePoint set up, and that would act as your document system. So maybe when you guys go onto your file explorer and you try and access some Word documents and things like that, this would have the option, if you wanted it to be enabled, to then ask you, is this you, when you're accessing certain files and folders within your server that would then be SharePoint.
Yeah. So that would mean that Gina doesn't have to send out all the documents as attachments anymore. She just sends links to SharePoint.
Yep, you are 100% right. We have quoted for that before, and we're more than happy to revisit that if that's something that you'd like.
And from a server security point of view, I'd trust Microsoft, Google and Amazon rather than Cone Town Council.
Yes. I mean, to be honest with you, and this sounds a little bit far-fetched, but it is the truth, and I say it virtually every week, we're actually selling more SharePoint migrations, as in server to SharePoint, than we are actually selling laptops. So it is something, we've got around 600 clients in total, and I'd say about 450 to 500 are now on SharePoint. It's what's keeping our engineers busy over the last 2 years. So we can get that quote quite quickly to you guys, and to give you, again, it's a little bit difficult to give you a full figure, but you're usually talking around 2,500 to 3,000. You've already got the licenses, so there's no extra monthly cost. But instead of buying a new server, in comparison, which would be around 10 to 12,000 pounds once everything is done, including labour time, this would be all in around 2,500 to 3,000. So if that's something you wanted to consider, again, happy to get a proposal together for you guys.
We'll suck it and see, won't we? See how it goes. Well, thank you, James. That's great. And when I presume FES will look at this, and if they decide to go that way, well, we'll obviously be on the phone to you every 2 minutes saying it.
Well, we've got a large service desk for that reason, and we'll make sure that they're all aware. You guys are all already on our system, so we'll make sure that that's in place. But again, if any of you do think of any relevant questions off the back of this, please communicate them to Gina, and Gina can pass them on to me. I think that'd probably be the easiest funnel, and then I can get them answered for you.
Okay, well, thank you for your time, James. Thank you.
No problem at all. Thank you all. Speak to you soon.
Can I move we accept the recommendation then and press on?
Yeah, are we happy with that? Well, it went over my head. I don't know what SharePoint is, but there you go. I mean, some of us...
Just hand over your devices, that's all you have to do. Walk me through it. Here's my device. There you go.
Right. But some of us have shared devices, don't they? We've like tablets. We've got other people that are using the tablet as well. So that might, I don't know. We'll see.
Today, when I come to go on my emails on my iPad, I've got no emails. They've disappeared, and I've now to sign in, and it gives me a list of Is it Chrome? Is it Yahoo, iCloud, AOL? There's about 7 or 8. But I'm beginning to wonder now, is this something to do with this? I don't know. And you put your email address in and your password. Well, I can't remember my passwords. I'll bring it in. I nearly brought it tonight. So it made me think then, oh goodness, is this something to do with this, you know, this cyber thing? But Nathan will sort it.
I don't use Microsoft at all. You know, I've got this Chromebook that defaults to Google, Chrome and everything, but
On my phone, it's fine.
yeah.
I get my emails, but not on the...
I don't have a problem with it as such, Chairman, and I think it's a road we're going to have to go down because we've got to keep as secure as we can. But I do have the Microsoft Cloud myself on my own account as well as the one from here, and I can just switch from one to the other at the moment. I don't want to be in a position where if I'm logged on the town council one and I want to look at some files that's in my folder that I've downloaded, I don't want to not be able to get onto my own cloud. If I can't, it's a no-no for me. I won't go on it if that's the case. But other than that, I don't have a problem with it, and I think it's a road we're going to have to go down because we've got to keep everything secure.
Well, as long as we like keep looking at it and as we go along, you know, and if there is any issues, that we let everybody know what issues that we personally are having problems with, and if we collect them all, then we can try and get them all.
You could have suggested if we are going to go on it, and David's muted that we should, and I think he's right, that Gina's already on it. Who else is already on it?
It's just me.
Right.
You can come round all our houses.
I don't think it'll be a good idea because some will have more problems than others. Because, you know, let's face it, I'm not singling anyone out. Some people on council are a bit more savvy with IT than others, and that's a fair assumption, is that? And I think it might be foolish if we all tried to jump on it at once. So I think maybe we should go ahead with it, like David's suggesting, but probably put half a dozen of us on it as a start, whoever the half a dozen might be, and then do another half dozen, and then we're all not stuck with having problems with IT all at the same time if something does go wrong.
Yeah, so we can still get.
So could I suggest that?
Are we happy with that? That we try a few first?
What you said about the Microsoft licensing will mean, of course, what they want to do is to start all 20 licenses on day one, rather than have them they renew at month 10, month 11, month 12, etc., etc. So, and you could argue as well that the people who are perhaps less IT savvy are more at risk. So, I mean, we all get junk mail, we all get spammy stuff, and you all think, well, I wouldn't fall for that one. But then again, I've probably seen a few more.
Do we have a seconder to what David, Councillor Clegg, has?
Well,
Well, you wanted everybody to go on at the same time.
Yeah, I really do feel that we should go for it and then perhaps choose a go live date that's between a load of critical meetings to give the maximum amount of time for people to get over their troubleshooting. But I think that we should all go on it at the same time.
Would they be able to give us an idiot's guide, or would they be able to come and give us a tutoring?
I think from what he said, he would walk people through it. Now, you know, he either starts at A and works his way down to Z.
Well, for me, I wouldn't like to have it on the phone because I wouldn't really. I'd need him to be here and with a machine with me. Would you say the same, Dot?
Well, if that's the case, if people prefer that, if we can get everyone together, or maybe half of you together, and then it can come, but you'd have to all bring your devices with you in order for them to put them on.
We could do that. Would that be easier, or would the people who know what they were doing want to do that, and then the ones that are not too?
We can offer both of us, can't we?
Yeah.
You know, groups who are coming into here, say, right, let's have a clinic as it were, let's get what we're doing, let's do it, let's switch it off, and then let's do it again. Let's switch it off and do it again, to check you can log in and do all the access you need to. And then other people could be done remotely as necessary. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'll need
And anybody that doesn't know can have 2 cocoa tins and a very long stretch of string.
It might be better doing that, Chairman, and have some of us in here and all bring his own equipment in, and then the guy can just walk round and sort a few people out at once rather than long phone calls. Because if he starts doing it over the phone, I don't think he'll do 17 in a day anyway.
Well, no, he won't do
No.
me. I'll need him to be with me for at least an hour, 3 weeks.
I think it took, when we did the multi-factor authorisation, I think it took a couple of weeks before they got everyone on that, so.
Yeah, well, I would like that, to have coming here with my devices and being shown properly what to do, and, make notes or whatever, so I'll remember.
So can Gina inform him that we're probably to go down that road and ask if he could give us some dates where he could possibly come in and do what we're suggesting?
Okay,
Sooner rather than later.
are we happy with that? The ones who are a bit slow and not very good at this, well, have to come in and be taught. Yeah. I don't know how many of those people, me, Dot, Alice.
Well, if you would like to request to come into the town hall, if you can just pop me an email,
Yeah.
then I know how many, number-wise, how many people.
Right, okay.
I know you don't need a new phone in next 6 months, but I'll have to do it all again.
Yeah. Right, thank you. Item 13 is correspondence received. Have we had any? No. Items for future month's agenda. Any ideas? Anything you want to discuss in the future month? Oh, committee feedback, yeah. Okay, anything else? Well, before the date and time of next meeting, I just want to say that it's a new year, and just can we all be civil with each other? That's all I'm asking. At a minimum. Right, date and time of next meeting is Tuesday the 21st of June at 7 o'clock. Okay. Thank you for attending, and I'm sorry it's been very, not very productive. It's been all, committees and everything. It's not been good that any, good issues that we can talk about. It's been very formalistic, but we had to do that at the first meeting. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Yeah, but can I just say that anyone from FPS, don't dash off, we'll have another FPS meeting, immediately after this,